YouTube, what is up? Welcome to the video. Fortunately, Christmas is over. Still got the tree up though. Gotta have the tree up, keep it up. Probably up for another month, honestly. I know me and my brother, who's my roommate, for sure we're not gonna take it down anytime soon. So, probably up there for 2 months, honestly. But, we're heading to the gym. I'm about to show you how to get the fattest pump ever. A lot of different elixirs and ingredients go in this. So first off, in this water bottle, we got some pump product. So Transparent Labs one. Pump product, obviously pump product's got like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Nitric oxide in it, which increases blood flow to the muscles, so super good. They obviously have some other stuff in it, salt, sodium, which is good for a pump. And they also add electrolytes, some more sodium there, and to hydrate. I just chugged that. And then I also had some nitric oxide tablets to maximize with it. Have that. So that's step one. The second step is the meal. So what we got here, I got 2 Chobani yogurts. These are the best ones. 20 grams, this vanilla flavor. I'll go 2 of these. So freaking good. And then honey, throw a little honey on that, guys. So like half a serving of honey. So you got some protein, you got a little honey, you got some carbs, and then a piece of sourdough with some more honey on it. So this meal is like 6 grams of fat, 70 carb, like 45 grams of protein, like 500 calories, not super heavy before you eat. You know, you don't want to eat a lot of fats. Obviously it's going to sit in your stomach. You got to digest it. So you want some like carbs, you know, some protein. It's beautiful. It's so good. You get the carbs. Obviously it's energy. You need that as fuel for the body to train. You got some honey in there. You got some bread. It's delicious. You got some protein with the yogurt. And then you got your pump products, your hydrate. Oh, we're about to get the fattest pump ever. We're about to get the fattest pump ever. Obviously, you don't need supplements for the pump. You can probably just eat that. What you could do is just throw a little bit of salt in there, crack a little bit of salt, some sea salt, throw it in there with sodium, or take some electrolytes and throw it in there. I was fortunate to have those supplements and they're fun to use. So anyways, this is the pre-pump meal. We'll consume this and then our upper body is just gonna get absolutely destroyed here shortly. All right, outside the gym, you know, you gotta have routines, you gotta have habits to do, and there's nothing better, especially in the wintertime, sitting in a nice hot car, got the seat warmers on full blast, got the heat on full blast, about to do one of these numbers. Ooh, we got all the pump products in. Now we need some caffeine. Oh, one of these suckers. Oh man, drink on some caffeine, get ready for the lift, listen to some music. But anyway, as far as the lift, and kind of my current training split I'm doing now, I've talked a little bit about it, and I've kind of fine-tuned some stuff throughout, but I'm essentially doing an upper-lower split, repeated 3 times throughout the week. So lower, upper, lower, upper, lower, upper. Reason I'm doing this, I like the higher frequency of hitting everything 3 times a week because I'm trying to get my squat up, my bench, and clean up. I want to hit each of those twice a week. Now, if I just did 2 leg days and I had to sprint, jump, clean, squat, RDL, lunge, like all that, I just couldn't do it all in one session. So that's why I'm doing 3 sessions. Now with the 3 sessions, they're not all like super hypertrophy where it's like killing you. 2 are more power, strength focused. 1's more hypertrophy focused. Obviously there's hypertrophy elements in strength and all that, but as far as like the main emphasis with it, with those 3 sessions, and then my upper body training has mostly been full upper sessions. The first 2, with bench being one of my focus, has been the main lift, and then essentially doing a chest back, side delt, bicep, tricep. I do that Tuesday, Thursday, and then today, Saturday, is my 3rd upper. Today's kind of more of a shoulder focus, so I'll do an overhead press as kind of my main strength movement, and then I'll just do essentially a shoulders and arms day, but I do 1 chest, 1 back exercise. Because I'm trying to hit everything 3 times a week, reduce the volume a little bit. Instead of doing 10 sets or 8 sets on one day for chest, maybe I'm doing like 6, and I'm adding another 3 here. So kind of spreading out. Again, I like a higher volume. I've always kind of done a higher volume, so I'm used to it. And again, as long as you're recovering in between, you're making progress. That's why you have your notebook, making sure you're going up in weight. If you're going up in weight, you're not sore, you can hit the muscle again. So hitting that's my training. So today, heavy overhead press. I'll do like a chest supported dumbbell row. I'll do a cable fly for the chest, and I'll hit some ladder, side delt, rear delt, bis and tris. Should be a fun session, good pump. But one big thing, and this happened to me like 2 days ago, and it happens all the time. Like, I think the oversimplification, sometimes I just get
I'm like, oh, I gotta change something. I gotta do something different. I spent like an hour before my workout, like thinking I was gonna change all these, and I end up doing the same workout. Because after an hour, I was like, why would I change stuff? Things are working. Am I progressing? Are things going up? Yes. And you don't need to change. And I'm so guilty of that sometimes, where I get so like caught up, because, you know, when you love working out, like we all do, like you see stuff, you're like, oh, I want to try that, or maybe I can manipulate that. But I think just that oversimplification, that, you know, majoring in the minors sometimes can be detrimental, because then you start overthinking stuff, and then you're doing an exercise and like maybe it's not going as perfect as you want it to be. You're like, and then you kind of lose intent. So once I was like, all right, we're doing what we're doing, you just got to go hard. So that's what I do. That's the biggest thing you control. Just go hard no matter what. And that's why I got to remind myself sometimes. You overcomplicate it and just be like, at the end of the day, as long as I'm going hard, as long as I have some rationale behind what I'm doing, like that's worked for me in the past, it's working, numbers are going up, then I would be an idiot to change it. So I do that a lot, where I want to manipulate it. I want it to be perfect, but also you realize there's no such thing as perfect. And that's kind of what makes it fun. If you had the perfect routine, you probably wouldn't put as much effort into it, because like, oh, I have the perfect routine. Whereas the plug and play, you're like, oh, I like that. That goes well. That goes with that. Okay, I like that structure. All right, my squat's been going up doing this, this, and that. You got to look at stuff. You got to look at the data, what's worked for you. That's the fucking fun part. That's the fun part, is trying this shit out, because, again, I can watch every video in the world on working out. I can read every article, podcast. But with working out and exercise, you literally can go do it and see if it actually works. So that's the beauty of it. Don't oversimplify it. That's more of a message to myself. But if you struggle with that as well, believe me, I'm sure what you're doing is working. Just look at, like, I think 3 things to look at. Okay, are your weights still going up? You know, are you progressing like on that exercise? 2, are you recovered? You know, maybe you hit your chest on Tuesday and then get on Thursday. Are you not sore? Are you recovered? Do you feel good? Yeah. And 3, are you able to train hard? You know, is it not where it's like you're overcomplicating it and you like lose intent where you're training because you're thinking so much about stuff? So I think as long as you're doing those 3 things, you're still progressing, you're not sore from, that muscle's still not sore when you hit it again, and you can get high intent, fuck yeah, it's working. So the oversimplification needs to stop, but we'll hop out of the car while I drink this caffeine. I'll see you in the gym. We'll get pumped up. Let's go.
All right, so starting with the overhead press, absolute staple movement right here. I mean, benching twice a week, but overhead press, another compound movement that I care about how much I can overhead press. Big strength movement for me. I think it's a cool lift to get strong in. It's fun to do. It's one of my personal favorites. One thing I really try to emphasize with it is good technique, because I know a lot of people kind of struggle and they feel a lot in their lower back, a lot of tension there, overarching. One thing I really think about is squeezing my glutes. Sounds weird, but really think about squeezing your butt, squeeze your glutes, because it takes a lot of tension off your lower back. Really allows you to stay nice and tight in your core as well, so you're not overarching, and you feel a lot more in your shoulders and not have to worry about like tweaking your back while you're doing it. So overhead press, absolute staple movement. Another thing I really like to think about is when I'm pressing, I'm thinking about not just pressing up, but also poking my head through. So pressing up and back in order to really get a full lockout at the top and maximize the movement. But 4 sets, 6 to 8 on the day. Best believe we just go until essentially we can't push it up anymore. It's so easy to do that with an overhead press or a bench, essentially just go to failure, because failure, you just can't push it up. That's the reality of it. So that was the main strength movement. And then today, I did a chest and back movement, just some extra volume. These chest supported rows are literally my favorite movement. So any sort of chest supported row, I do a T-bar chest supported row, a dumbbell chest supported row. I've done machine chest supported rows. They're so fun to do because you can really isolate. Obviously, you don't use any body English like you would on a barbell row, and you can get such a big stretch and squeeze. So I really try to think about, let the dumbbells, I almost try to touch the ground with the dumbbells, round my upper back to get a huge range of motion, and then squeezing at the top. So I really like doing these. I love barbell rows. I love heavy rowing, single arm dumbbell rows, but doing these and any sort of chest sport where you can really lock in, not have to worry about using any momentum, and there's a great movement to do. So dumbbell, T-bar, machine, they're all great to do. I do all of them personally because I like them all, so, but you could pick a couple if you liked. But great movement, great back builder. I've really enjoyed those, especially that increased range of motion. This chest movement, literally I wait all week for Saturday to do this because I freaking love it. If you have the space in your gym, some gyms might even have a set machine for this, but set up in a cable rack, bench at like 30 degrees, similar to what you do like an incline bench at. This pec stretch
is unfreaking believable. I mean, it feels like your chest is gonna rip off the bone. You get such a deep stretch there, and then you think about squeezing at the top. It's an all-time pump lift, but also just your chest builder, you know, with all the pressing I do, having like movements like this, where you can really get a big stretch. It works wonders. This and dips are my two favorite like kind of isolation movements. Well, I guess dips not an isolation movement because you're using your triceps. This is a true isolation movement where you're really only using your chest, but both of those movements I really like as far as getting a huge stretch and really focusing on just big stretch, big squeeze at the top, as simple as that, and just ripping it. That, I literally, watching that, I get excited. I love that movement. I can't wait to do it again. But went from there and then got into some delt work. These reverse flies, these are awesome to do. I've been doing these for a while. I changed the height though of what I set it up as. I used to do a lot higher, or set up a little higher, not to pull down. And I felt it, I felt great in my delt. And then a couple weeks ago, I kind of saw someone else doing it more at like the height I'm doing it, and I tried it there, and I felt it so much in my rear delts, and my rear delts were so sore for like 3 days. So it was awesome. So I think it's one of those where you can kind of play around the heights. High to low works, mid height works. I kind of set it like right at that shoulder height, so a little higher than chest, because I feel like chest height's a little too low. But I've also gotten a lot of questions. A lot of people ask like, oh, I feel a lot in my tricep, I don't feel it in my rear delt. I think what really helps is having a slight bend in your elbow. So that slight bend in the elbow, one, it's gonna help you isolate your rear delt more, but because when you have a straight arm, you're kind of flexing your tricep, and that's gonna cause you to feel more in your tricep. So a slight bend in the elbow, and I think about just thinking like I'm trying to elbow someone in the face, really trying to aggressively come back and then squeeze my rear delt. These are money, just really isolating that. Because it's hard to like, I've done a lot of like dumbbell flies, standing seated and all that, and it's like, I never really felt my rear delts until I started doing stuff like that. So movements like that in the cable machines where you just feel that constant tension, you can just isolate such a specific muscle, are awesome to do, and I love doing those. So cable work has been awesome as far as like chest isolation, as far as rear delts, side delts, biceps, triceps. So shout out the cable machine, that constant tension, and really obliterating those rear delts. And then we got into some side laterals, just classic dumbbell side laterals. I essentially just go until I can't get like a full range of motion, and then I'll go like 2 partials after it. So kind of in that 12 to 15 range, been hitting side delts 3 times a week. Classic movement, can't beat it. And then this arm finisher, so what I did biceps, but I did this mechanical drop set, super fun. So incline dumbbell curl, massive stretch, probably my favorite curl variation, favorite bicep exercise. But what I did is I went until essentially failure, until I couldn't get any more reps, and then I just stood up and then did some extra supinated curls. So this is like a mechanical drop set. These are great because you can get some of those added curls beyond failure. And what a mechanical drop set is from a traditional drop set, you go to failure, you didn't drop the weight, get as many extra reps. Mechanical drop set, you go from a weaker exercise to a stronger one. So you're gonna be a lot stronger, obviously standing, using a little bit of body English than you are gonna be in a seated position from an incline. So it allows you to get some extra reps. Now you can use this method for anything. I'm about to use it again for triceps, where I do an overhead French press and then to an overhead cable, but you could use it on a variety of movements for any body part. They're fun to do. You can implement them. You can do 2 drop sets where you can go, or you can go 3. So you can kind of play around with it. Look it up if you're interested. Christian Thibodeau's got a great article on it, but they are fun to do, especially in like isolation movements like arms, side delts, stuff like that. We just get some extra stuff in. So did on the triceps, as I mentioned, same thing. French press, reaching behind, and I went into this overhead extension. I felt a stretch like none other in my triceps. So definitely gonna be doing more of this second week of doing it, but mechanical drop sets, lifting heavy, you can't beat it if you want a big, fat upper body pump. Is there anything better than a freaking awesome lift? Man, that's what happens when you just go in, you believe in your game plan, and you just execute the fucking basics with a high intensity. That's all it is. Man, when you just go into a lift, you're like, all right, whatever I'm gonna do, I believe in it. I'm going 100% effort on each set. Oh, that was an awesome lift. Music was blaring from the get-go, which usually a lot of times music, you gotta flow into it, go through a couple like, oh, what genre I'm in, takes a couple sets to hit. Oh, from the start it was hitting, but great lift, lesson learned. And it's every time I do it, it's like, we just go into a lift and you're like, all right, this is what I have written on paper. This is what I'm gonna do. Just go savagely, hit it, hit it with some effort and some enthusiasm. Doesn't matter what you have on there, you're gonna make gains, you're gonna make progress. So it's always a good reminder for myself when I have days where I overthink it. It's like, it's so fucking simple, but yet it's not, because it really is just executing at a high intensity. You can always overthink, oh, should I be hitting this specific angle? Oh, I saw someone doing that exercise. Maybe that will target that a little better as opposed to this. No. If it works, it works. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. That's training in a nutshell. Keep getting after it. But anyways, great lift. I love working out. I love it.
Would you look at that, fellas? Look at that salmon. Butternut squash rice. I'll tell you what, I went home. It was great. I love being home. My dad's the best cook in the world. Had some delicious foods, but I am a creature of habit. First thing I did when I got home was hit up Whole Foods and just run them out of stock of salmon and butternut squash. And we are back. This right here, dense meal, 80 grams of protein. It's like 1,000 calories though. But I've been pretty light the last couple of days. So right now eating about like 3,100 calories for maintenance. Kind of slight cut, maintenance slight cut, but this is the perfect post-workout meal. I mean, 80 grams of protein. Where else can you get that? 25 grams of fat, 112 carb. You can't beat it. What's up? We are back at the gym because we have no life, and training's fun. Training is freaking fun, but gonna do some abs and then some conditioning. Been doing a ton of ab work, but showing a lot of my recent videos. A lot of ab work. Been playing around with new movements. I saw a couple new ones or variations, essentially harder variations than what I've done that I'll show that I'm excited to do, and then some conditioning as well. So throwing this in with conditioning, typically conditioning at minimum once a week. Usually it's like 2 to 3, but because of my current training goals, it's brought down a little bit to maximize other stuff. Sometimes you got to scale back some stuff to maximize others. It's hard to do because you want to do everything, but sometimes you got to be a little smarter, but still getting it in, of course, still conditioning. Just a little different than in the past when I was playing rugby, which was a lot of conditioning. So, which has been fun, doing more strength focus as opposed to that. But always got to stay athletic and got to develop some sweet abs. So we'll get into some ab training. So a lot of my ab training recently, I've been trying to experiment with some newer moves or different variations to really find some difficult ones where I can load it in like that 5 to 12 range. So this is one of them. If you have a glute ham raise or glute ham developer, this reverse crunch is pretty intense. So probably should have got a side angle so you could see a little better. But essentially what I'm doing, I'm using that pad and I'm wrapping my upper back around it, and then my hands are holding onto the back, and I'm thinking about doing a reverse crunch. So thinking about driving those knees kind of to that chest height and then pushing your hips to the sky. But the key is on the way down, a 5-second lower on the way down. So crunch up, push up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You go slow on the way down in a full stretch. I'm telling you, this will target your abs. You'll feel a lot too, kind of in your like lats and everything, but really will get your rectus abdominis, your abs, that 6-pack look, crush those. And what I did is I kind of did like a superset or kind of a mechanical drop set in a way, because I went into a glute ham raise crunch. So I just scooted the pad back, set up in that crunch position, and then just did as many crunches as I could, essentially until I would use a bunch of momentum. So these were nice, and I burned out after 7. So I did like 7 to 8 reverse crunches is when I couldn't get any more, and then I would go into these and I'd get like 6 to 7. So kind of the perfect amount. These were pretty intense too. I've actually never done a crunch on a glute ham raise, and I loved it. I've seen a lot of people do it, so excited to do it. Feel a lot in the hip flexor though, so it's something to play around with. Maybe the positioning, maybe bending my knee more. But that's a fun thing with this ab training. It's like playing around with different movements, different variations. Like I've done crunches before. I've done reverse crunches, but like doing on a glute ham raise versus a bench, they're just different. So it's fun to do, and I'm trying to build this ebook out. I'm trying to build out this template, and so I've been experimenting with stuff, so it's been super fun. And then I just finished with 3 sets of this. So I did the toes to bar. I pretty much do every time I do abs. The last couple times I've been doing it without the back support, as it is a little bit different of a movement. This week I did it, or this day I did it with the back support. Again, the back support's nice because you can rock into it and you can really push back and use that leverage to control it on the way down. I think like some people say this is harder than the regular one. I think it's like they both have their advantages, disadvantages. This one definitely makes it easier to control on the way down, which in essence kind of makes it harder because you control it. And what I just did a mechanical drop set and just did as many hanging knee raises as I could after as possible. 3 rounds there. All right, just finished the abs. For conditioning, I'm just gonna do a salt bike, 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off for 20 minutes, like 20 rounds.
like a 7 out of 10 intensity, like moderate, but something you can maintain, and then nice easy pedaling for 40 seconds in between. So little tempo intervals, fun to do. Nice on 20 minutes on the bike.
Oh, yeah.
So I got a DM the other day from Dom. Shout out Dom. First off, thanks for watching the videos. But he DM'd me, said, hey man, I've been watching your YouTube videos since the first one you posted. Just want to tell you and doing a great job. It's 9:11 p.m. and 26 degrees out. Normally I would have said, you know what, I'll do my run tomorrow. Thought back to your videos and you saying stack the days and decided to get after it. It's dark, it's cold, I had to hop the fence, but we're still getting after it. That just fires me up so much. It fires me up so much because to think of that small action I did when I was in college. I used to hop this fence to this field, and the amount of times I didn't want to do it. It's like, oh, does this really matter? Does this really add up? But I just did it. And to think now I tell that story and someone else applied it is so cool to me. It's so cool and so humbling. That's why I freaking love this stuff. I love exercise. I know how much it's drastically changed my life and impacted my life. And I love when you guys message me or when people reach out or leave a comment. It's awesome. But that is so badass, Dom. So fuck yeah, 26 degrees, hopping that fence, getting after it no matter what. So stack those damn days, baby. Do the little things. Be like Dom. Let's go. Crush your freaking New Year. I'll talk to you guys soon. Appreciate watching. Peace.